What's crack-a-lackin'? Welcome in to My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Show.
Welcome into episode 141, everybody. I am your host, SleezBall. Today's episode will be my Week 11 running back tiers, top 30, because we have 4 teams on a bye. So I was going to do top 36, but I didn't. I decided top 30 was better because there's a lot of injuries and QB injuries that are just hurting every position this week. So before we dive into it, guys, make sure you smash that like, make sure you smash that subscription, turn that bell on. All the support has been amazingly appreciated. You guys are absolute goats. I will be live from Thursday to Monday this week, every single day. So if you cannot make any of the live streams, you can also drop any comments you want down below. It does not have to pertain to this video. My goal is to answer every single one of them to help you get that ultimate goal of winning the weekly matchup and get you that trophy at the end of the season, guys. And let's dive into my running back rankings here for Week 11. So if you guys are new to the channel, here is my running back board for Week 11. Ballers tier at the top, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, tier 5. We're going to crank out the top 30 running backs. I have Kareem Hunt here in my picture down below because we're going to talk about him in a second with Isaiah Pacheco being activated off IR. His 21-day window is open. And at the bottom right here, you will see the running backs on the bye. Make sure they are out of your lineups. So James Conner, Tyrone Tracy, the Bucks duo tandem that is killing it, Rashad White and Bucky Irving. And man, the running back 6, Chuba Hubbard, who has just been absolutely lights out in fantasy football. Now, heading into my ballers tier, starting off with number 1, it is going to be just flat out the best running back in football, Saquan Barkley. Now, you get the Thursday matchup with the Commanders, division on the line, playoff seed on the line. The over-unders at 48.5, so they think the points are going to be flying. I think it's going to be a little lower scoring game than normal in this game, honestly. I don't think it's going to be a high-flying scoring game. I honestly would take the under in this game for some reason. I just have one of these feelings it's going to be kind of a grunge match here. But in grunge matches, it's going to lean towards the run here. So the Commanders, their defense has gotten better. They've switched to the single high in week 3. They used to really struggle versus the run. Like, so for the first 3 weeks of the season, they were bottom of the barrel, like ranked 30th. Now they're running back. They rank 10th. They allow 21.3 points. They rank 16th in the red zone, so about a top 13 defense there. They do allow 116 yards to the running back position, which is bottom 10 in the NFL. And as well, they allow a touchdown dependency rate right now at about 1 a game. So Saquon, always due for a touchdown, the best running back in football, in my opinion. That's why I ranked him as RB2, the highest content creator that ranked him on the planet. To start the season, no one believed in him. It was crazy that they didn't do it. And man, I'm just enamored with Saquon Barkley. Number 2, my guy is back. It's absolutely crazy. Christian McCaffrey, 10 weeks off, and he just comes back and plays 88% of the snaps and has 20 touches. I did not see that coming. I mean, he didn't have his blow-up game, but he still dropped 16 points in fantasy. He had massive work in the receiving game with 7 targets, 6 catches, 68 yards to go along there as well. It was a struggle in the run game versus Tampa. But, man, now you get the 49ers this week. We're going to get the Seahawks in a big division game as well. Just like I talked about with the Eagles game here. You got the 5-4 Niners and the 4-5 Seattle Seahawks. You got the 4-5 Rams, and you got the 6-4 Cardinals. So this division is going to come down to the wire. Every game is going to count. This is going to be a massive, massive game here. And I expect Christian McCaffrey to finally have his big blow-up game here. And I have him as my RB2. RB3 on the week. Speaking of the NFC West, I'm going to go with Kiron Williams. So he's been a touchdown machine. And all of a sudden he gets a matchup versus the Miami Dolphins, which was great for the run game. And the Dolphins came out on Monday Night Football and played lights out. I did take the Dolphins to win that game. I did not expect Kiron Williams to have a down game, though. That was kind of weird to me. So this is a must-win game for them, like I'm saying with the division. You get the New England Patriots now, and the New England Patriots really struggle versus the run. They rank 24th. They give up 24.4 points per game. They rank 27th in the red zone, giving up 8 points a game to the running back, 117.6 rush yards per game, which is bottom 10 as well. So you should have another smash Kiron Williams game here, and they give up an average of 1 touchdown a game to the running back. So you don't see much Blake Corum. He comes in and spells 3, 4, 5 touches maybe here and there. I expect the Rams to fully lean on Kiron Williams in this game and a monster bounce back game here against the New England Patriots. Running back number 4. This is just as good as it gets here for Joe Mixon. I mean, he honestly could be RB1, literally. You get the Dallas Cowboys. You get Cooper Rush. Dak Prescott having season-ending surgery. Could be Trey Lance at halftime. You're getting Monday Night Football, the Texas Battle of the State here. And the Dallas Cowboys really struggle versus the run. And when your offense doesn't move the ball, your defense is out there even more. And man, dude, Cooper Rush just passed for 45 yards last game. I mean, let's be honest. This is going to be a Joe Mixon show 100% here. The Cowboys ranked 28th versus the running back, giving up 26.1 points, 29th in the red zone, giving up 8.3, 111 yards a game to the running back, which is bottom 10, and about a touchdown a game. You can book Joe Mixon for anytime TD if you do, pick'ems or anything like that. Gamble responsibly. But Joe Mixon is my running back for this week. Running back number 5, coming off that weird game. Again, that Monday Night Football game. It was a smash matchup for the Dolphins versus the Rams run game. And Achane didn't really have a big game. So I know they saved their season kind of. They got 2 easy matchups coming ahead here with the Las Vegas Raiders and the New England Patriots. So I expect the Dolphins to win both these and get back in the hunt here. And when you get the Las Vegas Raiders, they're 26th versus the run, giving up 25.3 points. Gardner Minshew, Desmond Ridder, whoever their quarterback is, the Raiders are absolute shambles right now. I mean, they have not been able to do anything offensively. They can't even get first down. So the opportunities are going to be galore here for the Dolphins. They also ranked 24th in the red zone and 26th versus the running back, 25.3, 104.1 yards per game to the running back position, which is middle of the tier there, and a 0.8 touchdowns per game to the running back position. I expect HN to have another 20-point game here and absolutely explode. Running back number 6, do not falter off a superstar running back because of one bad game. Bree Hall is now going to get your fantasy football pot of gold, the Indianapolis Colts. So if you subscribe to my channel or been, watching forever, I have 3 defenses that you start everyone against, and the Indianapolis Colts is one of them. They can't stop the quarterback, they can't stop the running back, they can't stop the wide receiver, they can't stop the tight end. That's why they're a pot of gold. So they rank 18th, giving up 22.9 to the running back. They do rank 3rd in the red zone, which is crazy. They only give up 3 points to the running back position, 118.2 yards, which is bottom 5 in the NFL in yardage, and a 0.6 touchdown opportunity per game. And this is the Jets season right here. If they cannot afford to lose this game to Joe Flacco and the Indianapolis Colts, I expect Bree Hall to bounce back big time here, just like Kiron Williams. Do not get scared because your superstars did not have a monster week 1 week. You still got to ride the lightning. Number 7, the first time I've ever ranked Derrick Henry on the season, not in the baller tier, guys. Crazy to say, right? Derrick Henry has been an absolute tank this year in fantasy football. Just a touchdown machine. Pretty much booking for a touchdown every single game. Every single game this year, but 1 game against Tampa Bay, he didn't score a rushing touchdown, but he scored a receiving touchdown that time. Unbelievable, right? But now you get the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh Steelers defense ranks 11th versus the running back, giving up 21.3. They rank 16th in the red zone. They allow 78.8 rushing yards only. So it is a very, very tough defense here in yardage-wise, and they allow a 0.8 chance for a touchdown. And this is going to be that division rival monster record game here. 7-3, 7-2. Steelers at home. I expect them to actually kind of contain Henry if you can. I'm not saying that, he scored a touchdown every single game. He's hard to contain. I'm just not going to put him up against these better matchups that are above him here in tier 1, just because it's the Steelers defense at home and they're nasty. Running back number 8, Bijan Robinson. This guy is absolutely exploding onto the scene, but he gets the Denver Broncos at Denver. Another matchup. This is the only reason I don't have him up there is because I don't like the matchup here as much as I do with the other ones. Although the Denver Broncos allow 23.5 points per game, that's 21st. They're number 12 in the red zone, only allowing 5 points per game at the running back position. So like a top 14 to 15 defense averaged out. And they give up 83 yards, which is a top 10 yardage defense, just like the Derrick Henry situation versus the Steelers. And I think the Denver Broncos are the number 1 defense in my opinion. So I'm just playing the matchup game here with them. And they only allow 0.5 touchdowns per game. So that's every other game on the season this year. They have a lot of rushing touchdowns. So Tough matchup here for Bijan. I know that they just came off a bad loss to the Saints, so I hope they come back, firing here. And Bijan had a monster game as well. But again, you're facing a tough matchup here. That's why I have him lower. Number 9 is going to be Jonathan Taylor. The New York Jets defense was a top 10 run defense all year long. So they're still combined, kind of. They give up 21.9. They rank 13th. They rank 8th in the red zone, so about a top 10 to 11 defense all the way around. 106.6 yards was middle of the pack and a 0.7 chance for a touchdown. And it's like, get Anthony Richardson out there, man. I know that these are tough defenses. Anthony Richardson hasn't been reading stuff. And I know Taylor had a big game last week, but it's just really rough with Joe Flacco out there for me. I know he's a statue, so they know when the run's coming. There's no RPO play for them happening like that. And Jonathan Taylor is too damn good to just not be at the highest capacity level the Colts can be at. It just drives me nuts. Number 9 and number 10. This could be a 40-point game here for the Detroit Lions running backs combined. Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. The other fantasy football pot of gold is the Jacksonville Jaguars. Their run defense ranks 30th. They give up 27.1 points per game to the running back. Now you're facing the number 1 offensive line, Sonic and Knuckles, the best duo running backs you can get in football right now. The Jacksonville Jaguars also rank 31st in the red zone, giving up 9.5 to the running back, 96.8 yards on the season, which is middle of the pack, and a 0.8 chance for a touchdown. But when you have Montgomery and Gibbs, it doesn't matter what the defense is, what the ranking is, what anything is. These guys are so good, it's ridiculous. And you're starting them no matter what. Running back number 12, cleared off of IR. So 21-day window is open. So I'm going to move Kareem Hunt right here next to him because I would rank Kareem Hunt right here, even if Pacheco doesn't go. So let's say it's early in the week too. So when you activate them this early, I mean, kind of seems like they're going to play. None of this is official, so make sure you're watching for the updates. But when you're going up against the Buffalo Bills, guys, and there might not be an Amari Cooper, there might not be a Dalton Kincaid. So this could be just an absolute smash matchup here because the Buffalo Bills rank 31st versus the running back. They give up 28.7 points per game. They rank 25th in the red zone. They give up 100 yards a game, which is the middle of the pack there, and a 0.6 chance for a touchdown. And Kareem Hunt has just been lights out as a free agent pickup. He knew the system. He's been absolutely solid. So even if Pacheco is not out there, I'm still ranking Kareem Hunt as running back 12. Running back 13 is going to be Alvin Kamara, and he's literally all they have. This is the Saints' whole offense right here. There's one guy. I mean, they're decimated by injuries. It's absolutely crazy to me. So he still had 17 carries, 5 receptions last week, 100-plus yards, 16 fantasy points. I mean, when there's no one else out there, I know the matchup isn't great. You're going against the Cleveland Browns. They rank 7th versus the running back, giving up 19.2 in total. They do rank 20th in the red zone. So about a top 13 to 14 defense all the way around. 85.1 yards allowed, which is top 10, and about 1 touchdown per game. Interesting enough as well, in the receiving game, they're very good against the receiving running back as well. But I'm throwing all this out the window. They traded away Zadarius Smith, big defensive piece gone there. Both these teams' seasons are pretty much over. So, I mean, unless the Saints win out off a big win last week, that's the only way they're back in contention. And you have no Kendre Miller. He's on IR. Jonathan Williams still out. This is your full-blown running back. I mean, I know the offense is not going to look great, and it's the volume is king, and Alvin Kamara is seeing way too much for me to ever put down below top 15 running back. The surprise of fantasy football is Chase Brown. This guy has been unbelievable the past 2 weeks. So played the Vegas Raiders, played the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore Ravens run defense is one of the best run defenses there is. Still drops 22 fantasy points, dropped 27 the week before versus the Raiders. Has found a touchdown in both games. I know he had that costly fumble, may have, gave the Ravens the win last week if you think about it. But still, look at the receiving work he saw last game. 11 targets, 9 receptions. That's unbelievable. The matchup here, you're going against the Chargers. It is not great. They are the number 3 defense versus the run, giving up 16.9. They're number 1 in the red zone, allowing 1.3, 81.4 yards only allowed as a top 5 defense, and about 0.1 touchdowns. lights out Chargers defense. I'm throwing it out the window. Why? Because the Chargers also struggle versus the running back in receptions. They allow 5.2, which is a top 5. So that's the opportunity is going to be there in the receiving game. I know you might have T. Higgins back out there as well in this game still. I still like Chase Brown. He saw every single touch. Khalil Herbert came in for 1 and fumbled right away. So that's why they're like, oh, let's look into Leonard Fournette and see what else we can do here. This is going to be the Chase Brown show, and volume is king. He's going to see 20-plus touches from here on out for the rest of the season. Coming up behind him at running back 15 is going to be James Cook. And this one was tough for me with James Cook. So it's a brutal matchup here. But there's like a couple ways to look at this, right? You're going against the Kansas City Chiefs, the number 1 run defense in fantasy football. They only allow 14 points per game. They're number 4 in the red zone. They only allow 52.6 yards, number 1. So the Baltimore Ravens are number 2 behind them with 56. So, and a 0.3 chance for a touchdown. Now, why is there 2 ways to look at this? Because if there's no Amari Cooper, we know that Keon Coleman is already ruled out. If Dalton Kincaid isn't out there, you're probably going to have to lean on James Cook heavy, even in the pass game as well. So if you look at, they allow 4 receptions to the running back a game, about 28 yards. Now, if there's no one else out there, it possibly could just be James Cook, 20-plus touch game here. Even though in a rough matchup, I still like him at top 15 this week. Number 16, Josh Jacobs. Packers coming off a bye. I know Josh Jacobs hasn't been kind of the Josh Jacobs that we thought. Like, he's been a kind of a floor guy with a couple pop games here and there, right? Which has been solid. I mean, he's a running back 19 overall. But he's had 2 20-point games, and the rest of that, like 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 11, 10, 10. So, and a 5-point game in there as well. So now you get the Chicago Bears, and the Chicago Bears defense might get healthy here this week too. They might get Brisker back. They might get Gordon back this week. So they currently rank 16th, giving up 22.6. They rank 7th in the red zone. So about a top 8 to 9 defense overall, and they haven't been fully healthy. So they're about to get their studs back as well. 111.6 yards allowed, which is middle of the pack there, and about a 0.9 chance for a touchdown. Obviously, I like the Packers offense. It's amazing. You get Jordan Love. He needed the bye, right? He's been banged up all year long since week 1. When he, on that field in Mexico where he fell, or his knee kind of twisted. And hopefully off the bye, they come out firing with everyone healthy. Still, it's such a good defense, man. It's tough for me to rank Josh Jacobs any higher than this. Coming up behind him is going to be Kenneth Walker, Seattle Seahawks. So, it's Kenneth Walker is one of my favorite running backs to watch play football. And it's just a bad matchup. I know that it's like when you're not sitting this guy, you have Kenneth Walker fresh off the bye. They should, get DK Metcalf out there as well, which should open up more for the running game. But you're going up against the 49er D. They're getting healthy. They got CMC back. They're going to be able to move the ball better to get their defense more time to rest. So when you're looking at this defense right here, the 49ers rank 20th, giving up 23.4 points. They rank 30th in the red zone, giving up 8.9, and they give up 81.4 yards per game. So that's very, very low in yardage. So that's a top 10 in yardage right there, and 0.9 chance for a touchdown. Now, where the 49ers do struggle versus the running back is in the receiving game. They have 5.1 receptions. So I don't know if I really love or hate K9 this week. I'm kind of in the middle because I feel like it's that big game right here. This is the division, like, big moment booster game right here. Like, say 49ers win this, Seattle falls to 4-6. They may be out of it with how this division is going. So this is at home 49ers game. I'm calling the defense is going to, put Kenneth Walker in kind of a blender here. And I still love Kenneth Walker, so it's hard for me to, talk down on him, but it's my 49ers, so I'm going to do it a little bit. Coming in at 18, I'm going to bump him up higher than normal here. Nick Chubb. So Cleveland Browns coming off a bye. New Orleans Saints defense giving away all their pieces. They're already looking for next year. The New Orleans Saints ranked 29th versus running back, giving up 26.5. They ranked 23rd in the red zone. They give up 113 rush yards, which is bottom 10, and they give up 1.2 touchdowns a game. Nick Chubb is going to be the red zone running back. He's going to be the guy. I don't think Jerome Ford, even if he is out there healthy, he'll probably spell him a little bit as a third down back here and there. But Nick Chubb has been doing all this off a major injury. Now he gets a bye week. He's going to be even healthier coming out. I really, really like the Nick Chubb play this week a ton. Like, I see some people rank him like 28, 30. I think that's just crazy. The matchup is too good. The Saints are not going to be able to move the ball. that well. I don't see Valdez-Scantling having that game again or anything like that. I honestly think that the Browns trample them in this game, to be honest. Heading down to tier 3 here is going to be Aaron Jones. So had that little knick-knack injury last week. Had a very plus matchup versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Same with Sam Darnold. And I don't know what happened to the Vikings, guys. It was 3 interceptions, forcing the ball to Jettas. Just did not look good at all. And now you get the Tennessee Titans. So their defense is very good, but their offense has made their defense numbers look bad. So they're skewed here. So they rank 17th versus the running back, giving up 22.8. They rank 28th in the red zone. So there is a very high touchdown upside here. But they also only give up 80.2 yards to the running back position, which is top 5 in the NFL. That's why I'm saying the Titans defense is actually very good. It's just the fact that their offense hasn't been able to do anything. So they're out there all the time. They give up 0.8 chance for a touchdown. Now, I look at it like this as well. Do I think the Vikings, I saw a little more Cam Akers usage last week, and he looks all right. He's taking the job from Ty Chandler. Even Ty Chandler saw a couple carries as well. But can they get this game kind of limiting Aaron Jones with the injury he has right now? And he's 29 years old, almost 30, with a laundry list of injuries. They could limit him to like a half workload here and probably still beat the Tennessee Titans. I mean, let's be real. That's why I kind of have Aaron Jones lower this week. Coming in behind him, number 20, J.K. Dobbins. I mean, interestingly enough, we talked about it on stream. I was like, do you guys think that Gus Edwards is going to come in and take touches away? I thought he would take a couple more than people thought. And I was in chat. Everyone's like, no, it's a J.K. Dobbins show. Gus Edwards came in and took 10 touches only on 25% of the snaps and saw the goal line work. So I know J.K. Dobbins has been the steal of fantasy football so far at his draft pick for a running back, or you could say Chuba Hubbard, I guess, as well. But it's starting to look like they're going to, and Chargers are becoming a playoff team now too. So they're going to start to, use 2 backs, try and save, J.K. Dobbins for down the stretch here. I'm not saying they're going to save him, but you're probably going to see him like a 65-35 split, 60-40 split as Gus Edwards gets more healthy. Because coming off IR and seeing 10 carries right away is something that I kind of expected. And you're probably going to see that for the rest of the way here. And the goal line touches, that might hurt J.K. Dobbins a ton. But you get the Cincinnati Bengals. They rank 8th versus the running back, giving up 19.9. They rank 19th in the red zone, so about a top 14 to 15 defense. They only give up 91 yards, which is top 10 as well, and a 0.9 chance for a touchdown. And it's a big game. This is the Bengals' possible season here on the line. Sunday Night Football, going to be a great game to watch. I'm just going to put a little bit of expectation tempered on J.K. Dobbins in this game. Coming in at number 21. Practice limited on Monday. Haven't seen the update yet for today, Tuesday. I've been cranking out these videos. But I expect Brian Robinson Jr. to be back out here. Now, it's not a great matchup in any way, shape, or form versus the Philadelphia Eagles. They are number 2 versus the running back on the season, only giving up 16 points a game. They're number 2 in the red zone as well. Their front 7 is nasty. They give up 77 yards only, which is top 4 in the NFL, and about a 0.2 chance of a rushing touchdown. So even if Brian Robinson is back, it's still going to be a tough matchup for him that I do not like. Coming in behind him is going to be DeAndre Swift, and hopefully Shane Waldron being fired is going to open up this offense, because we talked about it all season long on every single show, was that Waldron is going to hurt the Chicago Bears offense. And I don't know why it took them so long to realize this. Hopefully him coming back out there is going to help, but this matchup versus the Green Bay Packers is not what you want to come back to. They rank 15th versus the running back, giving up 22.1. They do rank 21st in the red zone, so the touchdown upside is a little higher there. Only 97 yards allowed, so top 12 in yardage there as well, and about a 0.7 chance for a touchdown. But DeAndre Swift doesn't get the goal line work. That goes to Roschon Johnson. So he'd either have to pop one to get in here. Could he still see a 10-point game to the receiving work as well? Possibly. I just don't really like him this week. Coming in behind him, running back 23 is going to be Najee Harris. This guy has been on an absolute tear, just balling out. Like, I did not see him having the season that he's having right now. I gotta say that. I wasn't low on him. I just wasn't super high on him. So, past 3 games, 20, 16, 16, 20, 12. 3 touchdowns in the past 4 games. But now you get the Baltimore Ravens run D. They rank 9th versus the running back, giving up 20.3. They rank 14th in the red zone, so top 12 defense overall. But they give up 56.8 yards. Like I said with the Chiefs, they're number 2 in yards. They're very stingy in the front 7. A 0.5 chance for a touchdown. Where they really struggle, though, for the Ravens defense versus the running back is receptions to running backs. They give up 7 a game, which is number 1 worst in the NFL. Or sorry, number 2 worst behind the Pittsburgh Steelers. But these are what good defenses do, is they press so much that your running backs, they get catches out back and you just got to get rid of it quick. So do I like Najee? Yeah, I like Najee, but I don't like Najee versus Ravens run D that much. It's rough. If you can try and buy now, though, I'd try and buy before your trade deadline hits this weekend, like most leagues, because the Steelers schedule gets a lot better after this game. Coming in at number 24 is going to be Tony Pollard. And you saw I was low on Tony Pollard last week because why? Because Tyjae Spears was back. And you saw the 50-50 split, 54% for Tony Pollard after going 80% the whole way and being a solid, 3 down back. Now you have a split workload. He does still see receiving work. You get the Minnesota Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings run D is 4th versus the running back, giving up 17.8. They're 6th in the red zone, so the top 5 defense all the way around, and 70.9 yards allowed, which is 3rd best in the NFL. I do not like Tony Pollard or Tyjae Spears this week. Tier 4, running back 25, Ramondre Stevenson. And I've been on the fence with him all year. I know he had that crazy game versus Tennessee last week with 16 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. And he had a 20-point game, which is bonkers. Then he played Chicago, saw 20 touches, only had 8 points because Chicago's run D is absolutely solid. And now you're getting the LA Rams, who just held Achane down. So the LA Rams defense is getting healthy. Their offensive line is getting healthy as well. They rank 14th versus the running back, getting 21.9 points, 9th in the red zone. So about a top 12 to 11 defense here all the way around, and they're just getting healthier. And they give up 101.7 yards, which was middle of the pack, and a 0.7 chance for a touchdown. But this is the Rams season on the line here. 4-5. They've got to beat the Patriots here. I think it's going to be an uglier match for Ramondre Stevenson than most people think. And that's why I'm so much lower on him here. Coming in behind him is going to be Travis Etienne. So Tank Bigsby, with a little injury last week, opened up the door for Etienne to come out and kind of get his job back a little bit, I guess you could say. He did see 11 carries, which is the most he's had since week 4. So that's a good sign there. Saw 1 catch in the receiving game, but you get the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions run D is top 6. They give up 18 points a game. They're top 5 in the red zone, only allowing 4 points a game with the running back position. So top 5 pretty much defense all the way around. 76 yards, which is top 5 there as well, and a 0.8 chance for a touchdown. And you're probably not going to have Trevor Lawrence. So it's really, really painful for Etienne and Tank Bigsby the rest of the way here. I know he didn't get the trade deadline that he wanted to get out, but I mean, I'm still going to put him in my top 30. It's just rough. Coming in after him is Rico Dowdle. And Cowboys, man, this is what I was talking about at the beginning of the video, how it's just rough for these running backs right now. Cooper Rush is the quarterback. He still got 8 points last week versus Philly in a blowout game. 12K. He still had a 4.42 average, still saw 3 receptions. He's still the best running back the Cowboys have. But you get the Houston Texans defense. Houston Texans are top 5 or number 5 versus the running back, 18.3, 13th in the red zone. So about a top 8 defense overall. 84.9 yards allowed per game. That's top 8 overall. And about a 0.5 chance for a touchdown. And when your quarterback's throwing for 45 yards a game, it's not going to look well here for any of the Cowboys the rest of the way here. Tier 5 coming in at number 28 is going to be Austin Ekeler. And he's done well this year, guys. For his draft capital value and the injury to Brian Robinson Jr., he's been all right in fantasy football. 18 and 17 points the past 2 weeks. He's seen about 40 yards in each game running. He's seen a 40-yard receiving game. He's found the end zone 3 times in those 2 games. I like all of that, but it looks like Brian Robinson is going to be back. And we talked about the Eagles' defense being number 2, and they don't allow shit. So it's going to be really, really rough here for Austin Ekeler this week. Number 29. I told you to pick him up last week. He's on my waiver wire video this week. I told you it was never going to be Javonte Williams. That's why I have 0 best ball, 0 dynasty, 0 redraft. Audric the Bully Estimate from Notre Dame is here for the show now. And you saw it last week. Look at the touches. He had 14 carries. Jaleel McLaughlin had 2, which was even more than Javonte Williams 1. Sean Payton was never a fan of Javonte Williams. I try to tell everyone this from the beginning of the season. I hope you guys listen because now he is worth nothing. And now you get a matchup here for the Denver Broncos that could favor him here a little bit. You're going to be at home. You're going to be at Mile High. Yes, the Falcons' run D is not bad. They rank 12th. They give up 21.6. They rank 17th in the red zone, so about a top 14 to 15 defense there. 106.6 rushing yards that they allow a game, which is, middle of the pack there at top 15 or right around 15, and 0.7 chance for a touchdown. This is going to be the goal line back if Denver gets close. He was running hard. He was running over people. He is a big boy. So I don't love him as a start, but man, if he starts to see 20 touches, this is something I'm very interested in here. Number 30, we're going to stick with the Steelers here just because of what I talked about. I talked about the Ravens' run D. It's going to be Jaylen Warren at number 30. But why do I like Jaylen Warren? Because they give up 6.7 receptions to the running back. Jaylen Warren could be okay, if you need a dart throw flex play. I don't love it as like an RB2 or anything like that. That's for damn sure. But he still saw 10 points last game. He sees like a floor of like 6 to 7 every game. So he got 14 carries last week as well when Najee got hurt. And you don't know. I see the update that Najee is going to be okay this week, but still could be a little intriguing to throw him out there depending on how much usage Najee gets in this game. But again, you're going up against the Ravens run D. It is going to be very, very tough to run the ball. Thanks for rocking with me today. That is the end of the episode. That is my top 30 running backs heading into week 11. If you guys have questions about running backs past that, I just didn't go top 36 because there's so many QB injuries right now late in the season. And there's so many injuries happening that I don't think any running backs past that are even really going to be used unless you're in like a 16 or 18 man deep league like that, or a triple flex, something crazy. So if you guys have any questions about running backs later, fire them in there. I will answer them. But before we head out, guys, make sure you smash that like. Make sure you smash that subscription. Turn that bell on. It helps me out a ton, guys. Again, I can't thank you guys enough for all the support. It's been absolutely amazing this year. And my quarterback, waiver wire, defense, and kickers, those are all out. I'm going to try and get my wide receiver and tight ends out here. I'm heading to the movie here in like 3 hours. We're going to go see Venom. So hopefully I can get him out. So I'm going to crank him out real quick. That's it for me, guys. Hope to see you guys in the next video. SleezBall out.